I've heard Stevie Rickman's good. Big Stevens quarterback.
We did. White. That's Cam.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Eye of the Hurricane as the Wilmington Hurricanes host the visiting Miami Trace Panthers. Tonight should be a very good matchup. Wilmington won a game last week, 30-0, against a small team out of Cincinnati Northwest, and Trace lost a heartbreaker against Waverly last week. Cody, what's your estimations of today's game?
Well, I really don't know what to think this week.
Your prediction last week didn't come through.
I thought Trace was definitely the stronger team last week, but I think they were plagued by some mistakes, a lot of costly penalties. Just overall, they kind of got in their own way a little bit, but I have some faith that Coach Williams and staff corrected those mistakes, and they'll be able to get back on track this week. Wilmington, they pose kind of a different threat than Waverly. I anticipate Wilmington to be a little bit faster than them. Kind of going to go with the same mindset of score quick. But Trace, their front five on defense, and then their offensive line. I think as long as they can control the line of scrimmage, give Julian Baker some room to run on offense, and then Trey Robinette some time to pass, let him get the ball out to his guys. I foresee them being able to kind of control the game a little bit.
One thing I think will be different. I think we'll see different. Last week, many of the snaps, and we talked about it from the get-go, were rolled back to the quarterback or at his feet. Well, when you're a quarterback and you have to reach down, pick the ball up, hand it. Now when you're handing it off, the other team has already made 1 or 2 yards on you compared. So if the snaps are directly to the quarterback, a lot of those plays would have been different last week, I think, if they would have been right to the quarterback. So it could have made a difference in the game on a play here or there. A play that they needed 3 yards for a first down, didn't get it, could have been that was the reason.
It kind of disrupts the timing of Trey a little bit when the ball is kind of snapped at his feet. But, nonetheless, that he – you're still got to be able to gather the football and get it to where it needs to go. But watching pregame now, watching Cam snap the football, everything's looking pretty good. He was catching a lot of them in his chest, and that's what you want to see. So hopefully, by game time, they continue to do that, and Trey can get in a good rhythm. I like the leadership of this football team. I like the veteran experience. I said multiple times last week. I don't think it's time to panic just because they draw. No one's going to judge you about week 1 of a football season.
No, and they played basically good, just a few mistakes here or there.
Right, yeah. And I have confidence in those seniors and even some of those juniors to kind of gather everybody together. Hey, let's take a deep breath. I'm sure they got to work this week. I know they practiced later this week due to the heat, throughout the week. So maybe that kind of changed some things a little cooler for them.
They'll have a taste in their mouth they want to get out of. And,
absolutely.
Wilmington's coming in on a high because they won.
Mm-hmm.
Where Trace is coming in with a chip on her shoulder. They want to get rid of. And that may make them play a little harder. I'm not saying harder than Wilmington. I'm just saying play them harder to, get the outcome they want to see.
Well, I think, these kids know what kind of football team they are. And then last week was kind of one of those humbling experiences where you believe that you were better than the other team. And,
right.
And I'm not taking anything away from Waverly. Waverly is a well-coached football team, coach football team with Coach Crabtree. They did, they made a lot of plays. They capitalized on Trace's mistakes. But I still think at the end of the day, from top to bottom, Trace had the better football team. It just, they got in their own way a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see, how, Trace attacks this game. If I anticipate them to kind of stay the course of doing the things that they know they do well, not to stray away from the script much at all. So, we got a little bit over 19 minutes left until game time. And, I'm ready to see what they can do.
Yeah, I really look for Julian Sayin to have a good game today. I'm putting that out there right now. I look for him to have.
You mean Julian Baker?
Did I say?
You just Julian Sayin.
Yeah, I'm getting players combined. That's Ohio State. Yes, Julian Baker. I look for Julian Baker to have a very good game today.
Yeah, absolutely. The kid is dangerous with the football, and he broke off a couple big ones last week. And then another kid that I look forward to have to kind of continue the success that he had last week is Cooper Enix on both sides of the football. I mean, that kid was all over the field last week, defensively and offensively. Made some really big-time catches there in the late stretch of the game last week to kind of put us in position to be able to have that chance to get the ball back with a minute left. Now, things didn't work out that way, but I still anticipate him to kind of, lead the charge offensively behind Trey Robinette and Baker. Looks like Trace is going to get the football to start the game. Good chance to make a statement. Yeah, I mean, it's a good chance to make a statement for them. Take the football down, punch it in, and set the tone for the football game. So. And
I think they're going to start to our left, and Wilmington will start to our right, just like they were already lined up out there.
Yep. Defensively last week for Miami Trace, I was really impressed with their defensive line. They created some havoc in Waverly's backfield. I mean, they got some decent size, and they got some guys that have a little bit more speed. Guys like Tyler Stevens, who's able to – he's not as big as as an Adam Guthrie or a Brady Sheets, but he has a lot of speed to him. He can blow past the offensive lineman and create some havoc in the backfield. I'll look for him to kind of make some noise tonight.
Right.
Walker Gillespie and Jaden Jones, two really good middle linebackers for us. I would like to see, one thing I would really like to see is I want to see some turnovers tonight.
Yes.
I want to see some interceptions.
On our way.
Yeah, forced fumbles. And Coach Anders, I know from experience, he preaches 11 hats to the football, ripping, get the football out, get it back for the offense to put them in position to go and score.
Looks like the band's getting ready to take the field pregame. They've, like you said, they already did the flip. Trace won the flip, I think, or I'm not sure if they won, but they got the ball.
They did take the ball. Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't see who won the flip, but we saw the official pointing with his arms pulled that Trace was going to be receiving the ball. So again, if you get the ball first, go down there quick and score.
Yep. Set the tone. Find a rhythm for your quarterback. Most teams they have a small script they go off of to start a game. Just kind of to set things in motion. I don't think Coach Williams is going to stray away from that. He's going to look to get Trey into a rhythm. He's going to look to get the offense into a rhythm. And biggest thing is stay ahead of the change.
Right.
And go down and score. Who knows? Years past I've seen him take a shot early. We didn't see that last Friday night, so maybe he has something like that up his sleeve. But I think it's key to definitely go down and score this first drive.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I look for him to come out basically Julian Baker running the ball most of the first quarter, most of the first couple downs, just to see, get things going. But they might open it up after that or something.
Yeah, sure. And we're going to see a steady dose of Evan Colgrove too. He's
Colgrove, he did very good last week.
Yeah, he's a nice compliment to Julian, and Julian's a nice compliment to him. Two different styles of running. So like I said, it's just going to be a key to get in the rhythm, show some consistency, and get some points up on the board. I think that's really going to, and also gives your team some confidence knowing that you come out, get the football, drive it down the field, it boosts the defense up. And on the flip side of things, I want to talk about too. I should have brought this up earlier, but we got to talk about the special teams. Last week, a couple miscues on Trace's part on kickoff. That can win or lose you a football game at the end of the day.
Yes.
Your special teams. First game, you typically have some younger cats out there. On your special team, especially your kickoff, and it's kind of a time for some of your key players to get a quick water break to come back on the defense or offense or whatever it is. But I think, on the kickoff side, those guys got to stay disciplined. They got to stay in their lane, and they got to break down and make tackles. Waverly was able to bust a couple, and with Wilmington, who who's historically known to have a little bit more speed,
and they do. I was told they have speed this year.
Little to no room for error tonight on the kickoff side of things. So it'll be interesting to see. And they kind of juggled some kickers too. They had Cam Morton kick in to start, and then they transitioned into Morrison. And I don't think that really made a difference, but I'll be interesting to see who they stick out there tonight.
Right.
And see if they can stick with him and see if they got some of those issues taken care of.
That's one of the issues. When I got here, one of the Wilmington guys that I know, and I walked over to talk to him, he goes, one thing we've got this year is speed. I mean, that was one thing he said. So that
I remember the days of Quentin Rollins. I had the pleasure. I had the pleasure of playing against him, and I still have yet to play. I shouldn't say it like that, but in my career, I'd never played against a team that had someone like that, and it was something.
Well,
man, that kid could really fly, and not only on the football field, on the basketball court too.
He ended up playing pro football, so it tells you he had special.
He did, and I love to tell this story. My best friend Nick, he played with us, and there's a picture in the paper from back in the day, and Nick was always one of the faster kids on our football team, and I'll never forget it. He played cornerback. They ran a jet sweep, and he came back from the backside and chased Quentin Rollins down, and he tackled him, and I sit there, and I'm standing right next to the tackle like I had to watch it.
Nobody's ever ran Q down.
I've never seen that ever, and it just goes to show year in and year out, Wilmington has the athletes, they have the speed. It's a really good football program. I remember watching them when I was coming up in the youth ranks. We had some playoff games against Wilmington back in the day. It's it's a nice environment, beautiful facility here, and a good football program. So
I was considered old back in those days too.
Well, it's not too long ago. I'm only 31, so. I feel old now, if that makes you feel any better.
That makes me feel better that you feel old.
So, I think, overall, it's a beautiful night for some high school football. I would like to leave here with a Miami Trace win tonight.
That'd be good. I live in Wilmington, but I'm my rooting today is going to be 100% for the Panthers, and I'm looking for victory today. And
close to 10 minutes now before kickoff. I'm sure the band is going to get ready to come out in a little national anthem action, and we'll be ready to go here soon.
Yeah, the older you get, the faster it goes, it seems like.
Yeah.
You having fun?
What's that?
I asked Sean if he was having fun. Sean is sitting between us waiting for his turn to get on here later.
Yeah, Rick forgot the other mic, or he couldn't hook it up, so we'll blame him.
So Sean's had some experience.
Did you do some volleyball last night?
Volleyball last night without headsets.
Without headsets?
Without headsets. So he gave you a mic.
Well, probably because of my voice.
Well, I did volleyball last night, but I was at
All three of us. Well heard.
Roger Bacon refereeing. Here comes the Pride of Wilmington marching band on the field. No, I was at Roger Bacon last night, and I did Purcell, Roger Bacon, and it was the second night I've had Purcell. The second night I've had Roger Bacon, and I've got.
Now, is that quality volleyball down that way in the Cincinnati area?
Now, Purcell, no. Okay. Roger Bacon, yes.
Okay.
I've had CHCA, Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy. They're not top-notch. I had Lebanon, top-notch. Springboro, top-notch. There's better teams than the Catholic schools and stuff.
Right.
I mean, state. There's teams there that go to the state every year or every other year. They may take 1 year to rebuild and reset. I don't even think they rebuild; just reset, and then they go back the next year.
I know Miami Trace's volleyball program has come up the last couple of years. Their coach, Doug Mace, who he actually coached Washington Courthouse for a while and had a lot of success with them and is now over at Miami Trace.
Yeah, I
believe last year they won the Frontier Athletic Conference outright.
I've refereed him million of years, it seems like, because I had him at both places. I had him at Trace and our court. When I had him at Trace, I walked out like, I remember the first time, I was like, I remember you, but I don't remember you here.
Yeah. He now I believe both his daughters played volleyball. I think the oldest played at Courthouse, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yes, she did.
But Mariah, the youngest, she played at Miami Trace. The guy knows what he's doing when it comes to volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
He's got an impressive track record, and that program is definitely on the up. So
this is one of the first few years I didn't start with them. Usually the first game of the year or second game of the year, I have Miami Trace starting off, but I didn't have them this year.
Yeah, we can't wait. I hope you.
I do have.
Yeah, the next game that you
I don't have any.
The next game you referee, I'm gonna have to come and
yeah. I do
heckle
have.
you. I'll sit
what?
right behind you and
Next-
I'll criticize every call you make.
Next Tuesday, I'm at Washington Courthouse.
Okay.
That'll be Washington Courthouse, East Clinton at next Tuesday.
So we got the national anthem coming up. We're getting close here.
To honor America and in respect for all who have served this great country to defend these freedoms, please rise, remove your hats, and join the Wilmington High School Marching Band for the playing of our national anthem under the direction of Robin Spradlin.
So you've already had one comment from the peanut gallery. He heard you say you wanted Miami Trace to win.
Community members, families, marketing fans of all ages, welcome to
Hey,
the
Joe
field.
Holdren. Yes, sorry, but I'm on the broadcast team for Miami Trace. I got to say that.
Wilmington High School and
I'll lose my license for broadcasting Miami Trace home football.
the rules set forth by the association. The officials for tonight's
My heart can be with Wilmington, but I've got to root for Miami Trace on the air.
Tim Nelson,
scores tonight so we don't
Vincent Soad,
Ben Ackley, if you're listening tonight, we need some score updates as we go through this.
by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Sean's about to text you right now.
Southern Buckeye Conference. Wilmington High School expects an attitude of good sportsmanship to be upheld by all spectators, players, and coaches.
All right, the band's off the field.
during
We're
tonight's game.
approaching 5 minutes till game time.
Approaching 6
Well,
minutes.
6 minutes. Sorry, kind of got to look out. I don't know how to count, I guess. You know what? I don't think it's too bad out tonight.
No, it's a beautiful. Rick said yesterday, "Oh, it's going to be pouring down rain tonight." And I said, "No, it's not, Rick."
Well, I think a lot of people were, really concerned about the heat. I mean, it is hot. It is warm.
But too, when it's this hot and the moisture is like it is, it can pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is looking a little dark out there towards our right here, but
Check it right now. Right now, it's saying 2%. 1% rain right now. 1% chance. So
I will say at least we're in the press box. And
if
not
Rick
bad.
said 1%, I'd say it's going to break that. But
Yeah.
Rick's. Rick said it said 40% chance. I said it may not rain. Rick says it always rains when it's 40%. I said that's why it's 40%.
Aldrin says he'll let you slide this time.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
You know, Joe played for Wilmington. I
Yes.
think it was like 18
My son played for Wilmington High School. 1916. Joe, you played for, and he says you played football at Wilmington in 1916. My son, Jason Davis, played for Wilmington High School, and I was a big fan of Wilmington High School football.
Well, it looks like Wilmington's wearing the orange tops tonight.
Not going all orange like the Bengals?
I was hoping to see an all-orange uniform concept by Wilmington. But
Trace is in white.
yep, traditional all-white road unis. It'll at least be easy enough to tell them apart.
Yeah, that's the true. When you got two teams that are black is in their collars, sometimes that could be hard to tell which is which.
Now, I was watching Sports Center last night after the Colorado and North Dakota State game, and Arkansas Pine Bluff played Arkansas, and Pine Bluff looked like their home uniforms while at Arkansas. And I guess I read, today that they were penalized at the start of every quarter for not wearing contrasting uniforms.
Wow.
Arkansas declined the penalty every time. I mean, Arkansas won 70-0, so it's not like they needed it, but I thought that was interesting. I've never really.
No, and to me, it's like in high school, we do it at the start of the match, not at every.
Yeah, right, yeah. But one team's wearing all red, the other team's wearing black. If you can't tell them apart, I guess I don't know.
Well,
maybe it's.
I'll tell you the reasoning behind that. I do volleyball, and they have to have the libero, or as most people say, libero, has to be in a contrasting color from your regular team. But they also, by rule, says one has to be in a dark color, one has to be in a light color. The reasoning behind that is if they're both dark colors, a referee that is colorblind can't tell the difference.
Okay.
So if you got a football referee and one team's red and one team's black, to him, they're both
I guess it would
dark
be
gray.
difficult for.
Yeah, I'm blind but not colorblind.
Yeah, that makes that makes a lot more sense. I guess I never really thought of it that way, but all right, looks like both teams are ready to come out onto the field.
Yep.
Going to put them side by side here. This ought to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting, yeah.
Well, it looks
Trace
like Trey's
is
gonna
running
win.
down the sideline to their place. Yeah, their cheerleaders didn't come out and give them a thing to run through or anything, and Wilmington's does. They got the flag out ready to run through the thing, and the banner, Beware Panthers, Hurricane Warning. I like that, Hurricane Warning.
We must be right underneath the speaker.
Oh, I think we are. It's right there. You can close your window.
Then I wouldn't have my breeze anymore.
I know. They got to wait for the certain chime of the music.
One kid got caught up in the flag.
I saw that. I was thinking the same. Just he started running, the flag turned around right in front of him, and he couldn't run because he was caught up in the flag. That would be bad if your star player tripped over the flag and got hurt before the game. Coach would end all that.
No more flag. I like it. I like the big the flag coming out. I think.
I do too. I like High State has that running across the field and everybody following it. That's it's interesting. I like that.
Boy, Wilmington's uniforms look really good.
They do.
They look brand new.
They probably are. I don't remember them last year, so this is probably brand new uniforms this year, and they're bright orange and black. And Rick just announced they are new. He knows everything. He talks to everybody. While we're on here and we're waiting, don't forget to listen to and watch Wake Up Wilmington, 8 to 10, Monday through Friday. Listen and watch because I won't be there. I will be in bed myself. I'll say I'm there for the brunch Wilmington.
I think Wilmington's going to the wrong side here. There they go.
Yeah.
Always happens once.
Hey guys, we're over here.
All right.
I like high school because they still have the regular kickoff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever get into the NFL football kickoff thing.
It looks like Austin Brown and Bryce Perkins back deep for the Panthers.
And they went last week, Waverly did, over to the right every kickoff. Let's see what Wilmington does.
33, 32. Dylan Groves
Yep.
for the Wilmington Hurricane to kick off.
I don't know if they were trying to keep it away from this side. I mean, Bryce Perkins is a good running back, so I don't know why, but unless they just kick that way for some reason.
And we're off.
Here's a deep kick this time, coming near side. Picked up following Bryce's block. Gets to over the 25 and knocked down about that 28-yard line.
That's about where he was every return last week, which is, positive territory. Brown doing his job catching the football and making sure he doesn't lose it.
Right. Very good job. Got up there, and we're going to start the game at, again, if you get over the 25, I think that you're good.
Yeah.
And we got to the 28, so we're fine. Beyond that is just plus. So let's see how they do coming out of the gate. Wilmington's back in their defense.
All right.
I like the white uniforms. I might be able to pick up some numbers today.
Yeah.
All right. Robinette, quarterback. In the backfield, we have two. I think it's Colgrove and
Baker. It is Enix and Baker.
Enix and Baker. I couldn't see the numbers, so I was assuming it at the first, which doesn't surprise me. Enix back there.
It's like
Enix is staying back there. He went back there, so he looks like it's going to be
3-yard gain there.
Got up, I'd say four. Right at 4 yards. Got it to the 32, and looks like it's going to be Enix and Baker in the backfield with Robinette.
Miami Trey's going with a little jumbo set here to start the game.
Waiting for the snap. Nobody out.
Baker
going right up the middle, gets hit, and carried through to about the 34-yard line. So it's going to be about a little over 4, I'd say 4.5 yards. Right at, maybe 5, let's say 5, but it's just over 5 yards for a first down. So are they going to open up to a pass, or are they going to just keep grounding it out on the ground? That's the question.
Look for a little play action here, maybe. Got
I know you.
We could ask
got Enix here at
we
tight
could ask
end.
the Michigan coach
him.
what the signs are.
Pass.
Coming this side, gets by, gets grabbed, and pulled down for a loss. 24-yard line. He thought he got by the guy, but he was still there and grabbed his jersey, and he wasn't able to get his arm free to make a pass and went down. They're going to mark him right at the 25-yard line. So we're going to be punting. So it's a total 3-yard loss of the whole after we got there. Went from the 28 to the 25. Yeah, again, that was a pass play, but it seemed like it just took a long time to set up. Too much time for the defense to get to the quarterback.
Robinette set the punt.
Punts up high. Nice. Turn over on the ball. Brought back. Being hit, caught, and again got up to the 40.
Not bad coverage by Trace there.
Caught it at the 37 and got to the 40. So that was a real nice coverage on that from Trace.
Napier was able to – he didn't make the tackle, was able to slow the guy down a little bit, enough for his team to get there.
Okay, this will be our first time to see the offense of Wilmington. Jake Sweeney quarterbacking for Wilmington. He's a senior. I don't have the markings for the other. And they give me a sheet, but it just has their grade and name and their number. Doesn't have their position. So we don't know who's the possible running back, who's the possible. They have 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. No, quads out there. 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. They have the quarterback alone, 1 in the slot. Or is that the quarterback back there? Yeah, it's the quarterback, and 1 behind him. Ball up the middle. Is that number 2? 23, thank you. Bryson Schutte.
Number 23, Bryson Schutte, the ball carrier.
2-yard gain there.
Yeah, if I don't know the name, I'll let him announce it, then I'll say it.
Gain Jones and number 56, Brady Sheets. Gain of 2 on the play brings up 2nd down and 8.
2nd down and 8. Okay, they did a good job on that one. Again, they got 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom, 1 running back, and that's, again, this Schutte in the backfield with Stevens. Stevens looking, passing to the left side, caught, And out of bounds. They're going to mark him over the 50 to the 49. And that's a good for a first down. They moved the chains.
Cooper Hicks able to drive him out of bounds.
That play does result in a hurricane. First down.
All right. Back then we got one at the bottom, trips to the top. Quarterback alone in the backfield for Wilmington. Here goes throwing quickly to the right side. Caught. Hit the backfield, but brought down, and he's going to be for a long. No, they're going to give him to the. I didn't think he made it to the 49. I thought he got to the white line, and they're going to give him to the 49.
Yeah, he lost a yard.
Yeah, but they're going to give him.
They say he got back to the line of scrimmage.
They're giving him to the line of scrimmage. I didn't think he got over the white line myself.
I think it's tempting by Wilmington right now to maybe do some quick hitters. Trace is sitting in a shell look, a cover 4 look, and just get the ball out quick to those guys. But that was a good job by Bryce Perkins.
And that was to Rickman quick. And
then Tyler Stevens able to clean that up.
We got one at the top, two to the bottom, one in the backfield. He's coming to his left, throwing down the left side. Overthrown, no flags. Yeah, he overthrown that by a good 10 yards, I'd say.
Stevens pass intended for number 6, Michael Streety. That pass falls incomplete. Third down and 10.
Now it's going to be 3rd and 10 from the 49.
Gage Stuckey checks into the game for Miami Trace.
Wilmington showing they're going to pass it today. And I think they passed a lot last week.
Yeah, they like to.
A little closer to the receiver, they might have got a holding call.
Yeah,
that's true.
On the one right here where
I saw he sort of his hip pocket there.
And I think the referees look. Did he slow him down or did he just? And I didn't see him slow him down, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. That's why I said no flag. All right, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Quarterback has it, looking around. Long throws
picked by Malachi Jones.
Picked off. Malachi has the ball taken out of bounds. Great play. Malachi Jones got it. We got over the 50, taken out about the 48-yard line, and that's what we were talking about earlier. We want turnovers. And that's one thing you got to watch when you're a high school team if you pass too much.
There for a second, I was a little concerned with the amount of time that Stevens had back there, but Trace held strong in the secondary. Malachi Jones was able to read his eyes and get to the spot and
it's
take
funny
it off and go.
Wilmington a lot of times is white, and when he first caught it, I'm like, oh, he's wide open. And wait a minute, that's us.
Yeah.
All right, we got two. One in the backfield, one in the slot, 2 to the bottom, 1 at the top. Pitch out. Here he comes around the outside. And he's going to get a few yards. Good job. He got something out of nothing.
Got about 4 there.
Great job by Julian Baker. He got the pitch, came around, was hit before he got to the 50, and gained 6 yards. So that was took something out of nothing. That was great.
Oh, they gave him 6 yards. I can't count today. My goodness.
Well, we noticed that when you said.
I know. One of those. I think the heat's getting to me.
All right. We got Julian in the backfield alone. We got Enix in the slot. We got 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. And we got a quick handoff. No, keeper. Fake handoff, keeper.
Oh, that's a bad spot.
It is.
Keeper number 12, Trey Robinette.
We got up to, we're needing 2 yards, 1 to the 40 and 1 to the 39.
Another 3rd down play for the Panthers here.
I'd almost say it's 4th down territory, wouldn't you? I mean, it's. Sure. I think you're over far enough to go for it myself.
Sure.
Where you are, especially if you only. I mean, if you get to the 40 and you're a foot over the 40, I'd go for it. Now, if you go for a 3-yard loss right here, that's a different story.
Austin Brown into the game for the Panthers. Enix coming out to take a blow.
Yeah,
he's getting taped up. Elbow must be bleeding.
Oh. It takes a lot to get him out of a game, that's for sure. Okay, we got 1 at the bottom, 2 to the top, 1 in the slot, and Baker in the backfield. I'm taking Baker because I haven't seen numbered. Yep. Baker's going straight ahead. He's got the first down, broke free, and got a few more. He's all the way down to the 32, 33-yard line. Where are they going to mark him? 32.
Nice 9-yard run there by Baker.
Very good 9-yard run by Baker. So, Trace doing a good job keeping control of the ball, using the clock, and marching down the field. They're to the 32-yard line. No mistakes. That's where they want to keep it. We got 2 to the top. 1 to the bottom. 1 in the backfield. Pitch out, going around the left side. He broke it. Gets a few more yards and gets down to the 26-yard line, I believe. It's going to be 2nd and 4.
Pretty good blocking there on the edge.
That was great blocking on that play. And he almost broke that. He's always seems like one thing away from breaking it all the way. And one time he broke it, but then was picked up, got grabbed after that. All right, staying in the backfield. We got 2 to the bottom. Enix in the slot, 1 to the top. Going through, kept it, throwing Enix. Oh, he had it, and but he was being hit, and it dropped out. Yeah, Enix went quickly right over the slot, and I was looking for that play right from the get-go, and almost was there.
Wilmington was ready for that. It's kind of Trace's MO, draw you in, and then a little play fake and a pop, little quick pass right there.
Well, again, we're down in 4-down territory,
it was a good pass by Robinette.
Oh, yeah. It was just good defense. The guy was right there. Grabbed his arm as the ball hit him. And
Baker
I thought I heard a whistle. No, we're going, and he's over the first down, inside the 20. We got a flag down, someone says. Nope, I'm seeing him say.
About 5 yards there.
I thought I heard the other guys down there talking flag down, but I'm looking around, didn't see one. And we got a first down. Ball's on the 19-yard line.
Nice little drive here by the Panthers. Settling in. Got Evan Colgrove a single back now.
You need to see this finished up. You hate to see him go this far and then not finish it up. Quarterback keeper lost his footing.
He slipped.
And lost maybe half a yard on that play. Yeah, just as he went to cut, you could see his feet go out from underneath of him. He almost went down, but he almost got back to the line of scrimmage.
Stuckey and Maul, you're really going at it up there at the top. Last 2 plays, they've definitely
2 to the top, 1 to the slot, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top.
Pass, always wide
Passing
open.
Deep, he's open, nobody there. Caught it, touchdown. Malachi Jones in the end zone. Great job.
20-yard pass for a touchdown.
And that's what you want to see. If when you got a long drive like this, you don't want to eat up all that territory and all that clock and come out with nothing. And it's nice to see him finish.
Well, Trey's eyes were solely on that 10-yard out, and then he looked over there and saw Malachi wide open in the end zone and went with that second deep right option.
Yeah, somebody bit in, and when they bit, he left him wide open. Here goes the extra point. That's up.
And good.
And good. And that
is good. That makes our first quarter score.
What's Morrison's number?
Miami Trace 7. Wilmington
89.
89, okay. Because I thought it said 80, and I went, oh. It was Levi Morrison. Yeah, he's the kicker, 89. And Austin Brown was the holder.
Well, way to capitalize off the turnover there. Malachi Jones got the turnover, made the interception, and then this drive on offense was able to bring it home for the Panthers.
And I tell you, when you're on the road, it's always good to be the first to score.
I agree.
We got 4:21 left in this first quarter.
Here's the other question I have, is the kickoff team. Like I said, in the pregame we had some issues last week. Let's see who they – looks like Morrison's going to do the kicking, and what I really want to see is how this kickoff team gets down there and gets to the football.
And high school volleyball teams will travel to Monroe. JV volleyball game begins at 5:30. Wednesday, our 7th grade football team will host Clinton Massey at 5 o'clock. And our 8th grade team will
looks like taking a much-needed water break.
Next week, Wilmington plays stud Mount Healthy, which is always a powerhouse in Cincinnati. And Trace. You remember who Trace plays next week?
In football?
Yeah.
I want to say Logan Elm, but don't quote me.
Do we go to Logan Elm? Yeah, we're at Logan Elm there. I thought it was Logan Elm, but then my mind, I'm old. My mind went blank. You know, I was thinking of it earlier, and then when I went to say it, it was like, oh, who was that again?
Yeah, we are at, we're in the circle.
Yep.
I've got an excuse to say that, you know. So,
Yeah, it looks like Trace next week's at Logan Elm, and then they come home and play Bethel Tate, and then they have another home game versus Western Brown, and then so they got one after Logan Elm next week. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 home games in a row.
yeah.
They kick off FAC play against Hillsborough, which I know they're going to be hungry to play them. Last year was it was
Not good.
not good. Yeah.
15, get 20, 25, 30,
Oh, boy. Here we
35, 40, 45, 47-yard line. Yeah, just what you were talking about,
don't know.
what we didn't want to see happen.
I don't know what they have to do, but they have got to figure that out.
I mean, I saw a lot of arm reaching out. Just the guy's going by you and you're just reaching out and he's busting through your arm. You know, it's not like wrapping up. It's just reaching out your right arm or your left arm, and he just busts through that.
It's all about, lane responsibility and squeezing to the football. One guy gets out of his lane, that creates a crease, and a good return man will hit that crease and do some damage.
All right, Wilmington back. Jake Stevens, quarterback. Empty backfield. We got one to the bottom. And it looks like we have 3 and 1 in the slot at the top. So
Screen
quick
pass.
throw to the Queen and hit in the
Cooper.
backfield. Nice loss.
Cooper Enix.
Cooper Enix. He, like I said, he's all over the place. That's why he needs a rest every now and then when you were talking about earlier. But he doesn't just come off the field. You got to drag him off the field.
The kid is all over the football field. Nice job reading the screen, coming down and closing in on the ball carrier.
On here when it says, what's his position, they just have athlete.
That's exactly what he is.
That's it. All right. Looks like we got one in the backfield with the quarterback here for Wilmington. Is that 18? I couldn't see his number.
Not sure what's going on here. Okay.
Okay, we got two in the slot over here. Got one. And one top.
Ball's on
the ground. Oh, he picked it up. Again, lost another yard. So they've lost a total of 2 to 3 yards from the get-go. Well, they're going to put him back up to maybe to the original, second line of scrimmage, not the original. So he's still going to be 11 yards at least.
Looks like senior Brady Sheets checks into the football game.
Got to the 46-yard line.
I like to see better pressure this because I'm anticipating a pass here.
See what kind of pressure they get through on the quarterback here. They're going to be passing. They got one at the bottom, everybody else to the top. 3 of them up there. Hand quickly to the backfield, and they're hitting him quick. They're all over. Nope. They didn't want a mistake like last time, so they just played it safe and handed it off. And
it's like Walker Gillespie was the first man to the ball there, and then a gang of Panther tacklers was able to get him down.
So they lost another yard on that play. Got back up to the 45.
Evan Colgrove dropping back deep for the Panthers.
Back in punting position for Kane. Is that number 32?
Good punt, fair catch.
Nice catch, good play. Number 32 for them happens to be Dylan Groves. He's a junior for Wilmington.
Well, Trace takes back over. Roughly 2 minutes, 14 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Plenty of time to score in this quarter. Get another score on.
I would like to see them get back into the same rhythm they had the last drive.
I like that. I like that stance right there, showing them you run the ball, you ain't going nowhere on us.
Yeah. All right. It's like Enix and Baker in the backfield for the Panthers.
We got 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom, and we got a timeout. Wilmington called timeout.
Oh. It's like some miscommunication there on the Wilmington side.
Yeah, and, there's times during the game when you're going to need to call a timeout. Coaches hate when something's wrong on the field that you got to call that timeout to correct. Now, first half I don't think it's as bothersome as the second half.
Yeah, there were 2 players from the Wilmington side that were kind of late getting on, so they may have missed the play call. But even then, someone's got to pick those guys up in that scenario and get them
to the right position.
Get them in the right position. There's got to be a leader on that defense. Fortunately, they had to burn a timeout. Gives us a chance to kind of revisit what we were going to do. And
yeah, you don't want somebody not being in a certain position, and all of a sudden that's where the play call went to that, and there's nobody there because they played out of position.
All
yeah,
right.
Rickman, who was right in the middle, is now way over on the outside. So, yeah.
A little miscommunication.
All right. We got 2 in the backfield, 2 top, 1 to the bottom. Nice. Going in quick up in the middle.
Cooper Enix.
Good job. Cooper Enix with a nice run. Got 4 or 5 right there, maybe 5. I mean,
gain of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5.
Trace has a lot of different players that can play in different positions and help out. I mean, it's like you can't look for them all the time. That's what makes them so scary to play. Okay, we got 2 in the backfield, 2 to the top, 1 down here at the bottom. I think it's Jones down here. Picks up, hands off, fakes the handoff. Nice, quick.
Nice job.
Picks out. Baker's got the first down.
That was a great read by Trey Robinette there, and good blocking on the outside by number 2, Gage Stuckey.
Yeah.
Gave Baker room to run there.
Yeah, that was a fake to him. They bought on it, and then he pitched out when everybody then came to him, and that gave out to Julian Baker, which got a nice first down run on that. We're now at the 36-yard line. Again, we got 2 to the top, 1 in the slot, 1 in the backfield.
Baker
Handoff
again.
going up the middle, Baker, and he's got over the 40 to the 42-yard line. So again, he got about 6 yards on that play.
Baker, the ball carrier. Stopped on the play by number 43, Luke Ochterman.
Yeah, if you can get 6 runs carry on your run, you're doing pretty good.
On the play, it's 2nd down and 4.
All right, Malachi coming back down here to the bottom. We got 2 in the backfield, 2 in the top. The second man going through.
Baker again. It's like.
Yep, Enix was the first man going through. I couldn't see their numbers for sure.
Look, no gain there.
Yep, just got back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, they were looking for the second man through, I think, on that play because they didn't bother Enix when he went through.
4 yards to go on.
I think that's going to close out the first quarter.
And go ahead.
I think Trace has found a recipe for success here.
Well, they won the first quarter.
Yep, Enix, Baker. I'd like to see Evan Colgrove get in the mix on that too.
Well, he was the last half running back, it seemed like last week, and that
Sure.
may be the same thing they're thinking this week. Run these 2, then come in with the fresh legs the second half with him filling in a lot in the second half. And especially as hot as it is, you want fresh legs out there.
No, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if
You got any stats to get us up on there?
we're getting close. Still
Mr.
working out the kinks on my stat sheet.
We got a song for you. It's called "Hey, Mr. Statman."
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our colleague, Sean Grooms.
What's
and
that?
We will. Oh, well, never mind. Looks
I'm
like
switching.
Joe's switching with Sean. Yeah, I was. It was Rick's making executive decisions over here.
Your foot. There we go.
All right. Start of the second quarter here. Trace going back to that pistol set. Enix and Baker in the backfield. 2 to the top, 1 at the bottom. Robinette heads to Baker. Hits right up the middle. Has some room here.
Yes.
So down to the 45.
Number 3, Julian Baker, the ball carrier.
Excellent hold by that side of the line on the left
13-yard
side.
gain, yeah.
Play does result.
I think I might have been able to run through that one.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I would have made it 13 yards, but
Oh, yeah, I'd have picked up 2. There's no doubt in my mind.
well, they marked him short of the 45 there.
I mean, we're just overpowering that.
Trey sticking with this set here with Enix. Well, it looks like Colgrove's in the backfield now. Ball given to Enix. Bounces off the first tackler, finds some room, keeps the legs churning. It's inside the 30-yard line.
Excellent second there for
Number 6,
there by Cooper Enix. I thought Wilmington might have jumped off sides anyway on that play, but we'll take the result
Play results in a mighty
minus the
Trace
penalty.
first down.
Told you. I called it.
Well, 13 yards. Offensive line doing a great job here in the first half.
This is against a defense that's set up to stop the run right
Yep.
now. They're playing got one safety back.
Playing man. Robinette. Hands off to Colgrove. Oh,
Nobody
stop. Number 43 for Wilmington.
Number 20, Evan Colgrove.
Is it
Luke
Ackerman?
Ackerman
Tackled in the backfield
come off
by
the
number
end
43.
like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, it's like he lost a yard or two there. Call it
He's out
2.
there now. Nobody blocked him. He just blitzed in, unblocked.
Loss of 2 on the play. Second down.
Play designed to run away from that side. You're not
Yeah, but
expecting him to get there.
He was shot out of the cannon and really made a play there. All right. Robinette set up. Trips to the top. Single receiver down here to the bottom. Robinette pulls the ball. Finds some room. Keeps the legs churning. He's going. He's going to break free. 10-5. Touchdown, Trey Robinette. Panthers go up.
No flag.
No flags.
Number 12, Trey
That's-
Robinette.
Woo, Trey's caught a break there.
Number 9, Zane Smith.
I mean, Wilmington was able to suck Trace in, suck him in on this run, and play action pass the guy wide open. Kind of looked like a little page out of Clinton Massey's playbook. They're notorious for that. Heavy run team, and then when you least expect it, play action pass, and you got your tight end running by himself downfield.
Cody, did you not see rule number 1?
What?
You can't say the CM word here. at
No,
Wilmington.
I'm sorry. Well, good thing I'm here for Trayson. Well, if they were still in the league, maybe I shouldn't say that either, but they're not in the league anymore. Number 14 with the ball. Finds some room on the outside. Looks like number 1 is able to. Oh,